is not true. Each person, $100,000 as what appearance fee.
As appearance fee.
And the personal assistant of Otu Addo is paid to go to the World Cup by the state.
$20,000.
Hold on.
You see, the issue
hold
is
on,
that...
hold on.
Winston, calm down.
Our caretaker coach at the time.
Yes. That was him.
Had his personal assistant.
Yes.
Paid $20,000.
Yes.
What is the duty of the purse holder?
He holds the money that the GFA said in their statement yesterday that the ministry spends. So the GFA submits a budget to the ministry. The ministry approves the budget, and then the ministry spends the money. So they don't give the money to the FA to spend. They send someone, a budget officer, to spend the money, and that person is called the purse holder. He himself was also paid $10,000 from this budget that the FA presented. Was
that his? And was he also paid per diem? All the
yes,
money
everybody's paid. Everybody that is being paid. What we are talking about is just honorarium. Everybody here is also paid per diem.
What?
Everybody in this list.
Break it down for us.
This is a budget that the GFA General Secretary presented. And this issue is coming up because the GFA has consistently said that they've been targeted wrongly over Black Stars budgetary issues and that they didn't spend the money. It's true they don't spend the money, but they tell the ministry how much to spend because they submit the budget. The ministry doesn't prepare the budget. They submit the budget. So any figure that the ministry spends is because the FA has asked them to spend it. Now, the ministry does have some leeway to decide whether or not they want to approve the budget, and they have to scrutinize the budget and all of that. But it's the sheer preposterous nature of some of the things in the line items of the budget that the FA presented that is a cause for concern. So you look at one of the biggest issues being appearance fees. Okay, the FA in this budget have budgeted appearance fee of 54 people. For every single one of the 54 people to be paid $100,000 each. So for appearance fees alone, the GFA was telling the Ministry of Youth and Sports to spend $5.4 million. Now, we have even kicked against the issue of appearance fees for Black Stars in the past. But even if the players were to be paid $100,000, that is 26 players, and that would amount to what? 2.6 million.
Yes.
There is a remaining 28 others with the national team that the FA has told the Ministry of Youth and Sports to prepare $100,000 each for.
Hold on.
Who are these 28 people?
So additional 28.
Yes.
So essentially $5.4 million.
Now, did we pay the technical team appearance fee too?
Yes, we paid an appearance fee.
And there are how many?
So let's say there are 8 people.
So where the 20? Who are they?
That's a good question. Who are all these people?
The FA president also paid appearance fee.
He's part of a management. He gets paid appearance fee.
The Black Stars Management Committee.
They got paid an appearance fee of $100,000 each.
Appearing to go and do what?
And what was crazy about this one was that if you look through the budget properly, you'd realize that the General Secretary who wrote this memo also proposed to pay 3 members of the national team's department who presumably would have performed the same task or the equivalent of what we often are told is the job of the Black Stars Management Committee. So for this World Cup, we sent 3 people who were part of the national team's department, which is actually good practice. I mean, it's one thing a lot of people have called for, but still decided to go with a full complement of the Black Stars Management Committee.
And we pay them appearance fee of $100,000
US dollars. Yes, of course. Thanks to Alhaji Karim Gruza, we have now been told that he was asked to return the money, and we do know that someone like Dr. Randy Abe rejected his. We do know that Seconds as well. But the sheer idea that someone would think it is a good idea to spend $5.4 million US dollars, and this is not a rich country. This is not a football-rich economy. This is a football association that does not have money to fund its capital projects. But in one move, for one tournament, they propose to spend this much. Now, Friends has mentioned the issue of the personal assistant to the Black Stars coach.
Yes, I
he was to be paid $20,000 US dollars. That's what the GFA proposed.
Was
that amount?
Okay, $20,000.
Yes, that amount is the equivalent of what our scouts for the tournament were paid. It is also the equivalent of the same honorarium that the head of delegation was paid. In fact, his was actually more than what the general secretary was penciled down for.
The personal assistant of Coach Otto Addo,
yes,
gets $20,000.
And then beyond that,
what was his
one of the things that I saw,
I want to understand something.
they would not clarify, because they are assistant coaches for different purposes. So there's supposed to be a fitness instructor, there's supposed to be a video editor.
The fitness instructor.
Yes, and there's
we
supposed
paid all
to be
the assistant coaches,
all of them,
and we paid this one also.
Exactly.
Personal assistant.
Now check this.
To the FA.
You know that
to the coach.
You know that before the tournament, our players were scattered across the world.
Yes.
So, for example, Andre was playing in Qatar. Daniel Efriebane was playing in Ghana because he was with Accra Hearts in the Ghana Premier League. Kudus was playing in the UK, in the Netherlands.
Yes.
Yes. Somehow, the FA priced each air ticket as the same.
Why we chartered flights for them or what?
No. So there was supposed to be a pre-tournament camp in Abu Dhabi, UAE. The players were supposed to all go there, so we'll buy tickets for each player, right? Andre was in Qatar. I'm saying to you that
Andre was in Qatar.
Yes,
okay,
but the FA
and the camping was in UAE,
Abu Dhabi. Yes.
Abu Dhabi,
yes, relatively short,
very short.
Yes, not the same as someone coming from, for example, the United States or from Ghana or from Serbia,
okay,
where our players were. But in the wisdom of the FA, the cost of flying each person, irrespective of where they were and irrespective of the actual flight ticket, was the same.
How much was that?
I'll get that for you. $7,000, yes.
Dollars?
Yes.
$7,000 per player?
Yes.
To Abu Dhabi?
Yes. But you see, we have
Hold on, is it just to Abu Dhabi or from there back?
No,
to Abu Dhabi.
Yes.
Just
but that was where the pre-tournament
flight
campaign.
Ticket alone.
Yes.
Because business class.
Because we do know that
we give them business class.
Yes, our players don't fly economy; they fly business class.
Yes. Winston, the air ticket for one of these players alone could have fixed that school. The school that we are about to tell people about. The school that has these are not cracks.
Kojo, you are not lying.
These are holes in the wall that cows can climb through. Right? One of the tickets that given to these players to fly from God knows where to one location could have solved this problem. Look at the endless black hole of corruption that football has turned into.
And Kojo, you've even gone too far. Just yesterday, we published another story of a major scandal about the FA and the acquisition of buses that were supposed to help Premier League clubs. Muftau Nabila has been investigating this, and Muftau is here. You can share some details with us briefly.
Before Muftau shares those details, I mean, before he shares.
Hey, Winston, it's like you don't want to go away from the black.
No. So why our players fly business class?
Yeah. Always
paid for by
the state. Always. Black Stars players, not Black Queens players.
Business class. Gojo, let's check the price of business class today.
Winston, relax.
No, I want to check.
Where are you flying to? That's the first question.
Fly
Abu Dhabi. But you see,
check it for me right now.
But you see, Winston,
I want to check
preposterous as some of these things sound,
I'll check it myself.
You are only able to present this budget when you know that the approving authority is not going to make significant changes to it. And that's why I keep saying that this unholy alliance between the GFA and the sports ministry does not bode well for this country. Yesterday, in this week's issue of Hindsights, I mentioned that the GFA should not be defending themselves and telling the people that we are not responsible for drafting the budget because you are the other half of a high-level collusion between the GFA and the sports ministry. And check this. Every time the issue of budget comes up, they tend to sing the same tune. 2014, Ibrahim Sanidara told us that the issue of the Black Stars budget was a state secret and that the chief of staff at that time...
State secret?
Yeah, that was on GTV. He said the chief of staff at that time had cautioned each of them from that meeting they had from putting the details out. Now, what he did not realize was that in that statement, he had exposed the truth that they are not only the people who draft the budget, they are involved at each stage of the implementation of the budget. And they go as far as sometimes having representation in cabinet meetings, and as he mentioned, with the chief of staff. A year later, Mahama Yarega, who today is the majority leader in parliament,
2015,
Ifya Pokua asked about Ghana's budget asked him about the budget for AFCON in Equatorial Guinea. He said she should not ask him useless questions.
He said, let's focus on discussing more important
But he did use the exact expression, useless questions. Now, since then, what has happened to the culture of people, and when I say people, I'm talking about the GFA and the sports ministry, giving us an itemized breakdown of the expenditure at major tournaments. 2017, we didn't get it. 2019 in Egypt, we didn't get it. 2022, the World Cup in Qatar that we're talking about today, we still do not have the GFA or the sports ministry going to parliament or making available to the public the itemized breakdown of our expenditure. We went to Cameroon for the AFCON, it was the same. Cote d'Ivoire, just nearby, it was the same. In fact, on each of the last 3 occasions, the sports ministers have only gone to tell Ghanaians how much we spent. But what exactly we spent those amounts on, nobody knows. And that's why yesterday in my feature, I wrote that beyond telling Ghanaians that you want transparency and accountability, John Mahama has to ensure that Ghanaians get to see how much is being spent on our national teams. But more importantly, our spending reflects the fact that we're going through austerity. If we sit here and say that our MPs should not be flying business class, or we should not be giving them conditions of service. If we say that we should not be giving them conditions of service, that reflects leaders from a first world, rich, well-run country. That has to extend into every facet of the economy or every sector, including sports. So while we talk about this expose and all of these things, the most important thing for me is that John Mahama, the sports minister Kofi Adams, they show themselves different. The Black Stars are taking on Chad later this month on the 21st. A budget has already been approved. Tickets have already been bought for players. So maybe that is water under the bridge. But from here on, even that, because I don't think, no, not necessarily. Even that, we need to know that whatever was spent for this particular assignment it makes sense. And that we are not bloating. But how do you justify that you pay 28 other people or $2.8 million US for other people whose services you cannot readily explain?
Meanwhile, you are going for them to score you.
How much did we earn from our participation in the World Cup?
Nothing.
We did.
There's some 12 million or so.
No, we got, instead of 9 million, we got 7.9 million.
7.9 million. How much did we spend participating in the World Cup?
In the FIFA World Cup, we spent close to $7 million, if I remember.
So that is what I mean when I say we got nothing. And you see, the 7 million he's talking about does not account for the cost of playing the qualifiers. Right. So, yes, the World Cup is important for us. It gives this country that exposure. It gives our players the biggest platform to go and excel. But do it the way other countries do. Be sensible in your expenditure.
I've listened to Steve Bruce, former Man United captain. He talks about playing for England and the fact that one of the things that really hurts him is that he never got to wear the jersey, even in a friendly game, just once. He says he would have cherished that all his life. For us in Ghana, the players do us a favor if they have to come and play for the Black Stars.
No, because they have realized that mercenaries, right, feed fat off their work. So, for example, if a Black Stars player knows that for all the insults and the criticisms they are going to suffer, there is an even bigger contingent on that budget who are earning as much as they earn as appearance fee, they will definitely put a price on their service to the nation.
Why must we pay them appearance fees?
Let me ask this.
That is a
if
conversation.
you don't mind, I would like some education. When you take the Black Stars team, all of these foreign players, are they all in, Premier?
Not all of them.
So quite a number of them play in, subsidiary divisions.
A lot of them, actually.
Okay.
A lot of them.
So those people, when they are traveling with their teams to go and play matches, do they fly business class?
Not all of them, especially if you play in the championship.
Predominantly,
you
it is
usually
class.
travel by
Most of the
coach.
class have got their own flights that they travel the place.
But for those who play in, for example,
I'm talking about the junior league people, because a lot of our players are not
the only ones
playing
who
in
go
Premier
by
or
the only ones who
Serie
go by
A
flights, as if you play in the top 5 European leagues, and when you have continental engagements. So someone who plays in the championship, for example, chances are that if
the flying if you go fly some,
yes,
but we fly them business class, 7K a pop to go and lose and come.
So Kojo, the thing is that when the FA prepares a budget to be submitted to the ministry, they cap it at a figure. So they've capped it that players who are coming from Europe, we are capping them at 7K. We'll go and submit it to the ministry. Sometimes the ministry engages a traveling agency. The traveling agency will now decides, okay, if you are flying, let's say, a player from England, it will cost you $4,000 or $5,000 or $7,000. So they do all those aggregations to arrive at the specific figure that will fly down the players. But when Alex Asante is putting everything together to submit, it is capped at a specific figure. Because, so for instance, I recall in my conversation with Neil Anthe van der Poel, he did explain to me that the FA had come to his office with a budget that says that they were going to fly each player from, say, England, let's say for $5,000. So he decides that, okay, I'm going to call a traveling agency and ask the traveling agency how much it will cost me to fly a business flight for a player to come down. So that traveling agency will tell, okay, it will cost you $3,000. So I say, okay. So times how many players are coming from England? And then they will use that figure. So that is what it usually goes through. But Alex Asante, he will give you a cap off of how much it will cost to fly a player from Europe to come.
But that's corruption.
No, because the point is
corruption.
Because the point is that
because you are not accounting for the actual cost, and we are a poor country. Remember that. So even in every person in the value chain is supposed to at least have the nation at heart.
That's true.
The same way we expect the player to have the nation at heart. The guy doing the budget should also have the nation at heart and understand that we're a poor country. So you don't bring some general the average of 7K, knowing that some people it will cost 2K, some people it will cost 3K, some people, and they say no, you don't do that.
So let me tell you one thing.
Do that.
So let me tell you one thing. The FA had budgeted $10,000 for medicals, but the ministry engaged the team doctor and was like, no, $10,000 is too much. We can cut it. So they cut it down to like $3,000 or $4,000. So the budget would come, but the onus is on the ministry and cabinet to sit down, review the budget, and say we can cut down this, we can cut down that, and we can cut that, and they will arrive at a specific figure. But when it comes to the FA, their job is the figures they often put.
To just give you
the figures they often put there are just drafts.
This budget,
but you see,
was it approved or not?
Winston,
This budget. This budget.
was approved.
So I can tell you categorically that. So I first did this story in May 2023. So I'm coming. No, I'm building a point. All these figures were not approved. So for instance, we went to the World Cup. Remember, they went with coaches from the Ghana Premier League. All those people were part of the technical team they took to the World Cup. Some of these players, some of these coaches were given $5,000 for going to the World Cup. So the figure that is put in there, it's not what was given to the coaches. And I've spoken to these coaches. In fact, when
was the budget approved?
Not everything was approved.
Winston,
are you sure?
Winston,
Yes.
Winston.
So what you are saying to me is that
I can say categorically that not everything here was
what you are
approved.
saying to me is that they presented what's the amount that they presented to pay each of these people who ended up getting 5,000? What was the amount they presented?
The FA presented.
Yes.
So the FA had said they should give them appearance fee. So in fact,
that would have been
even the media officer of the FA was supposed to be paid appearance fee.
Which is how much?
You see,
He was also supposed to get
what Muftau
100,000, but he didn't
what
get that.
Muftau does not realize is that this defense,
saying
could you just to make this defense throws the whole conversation into a point
it is
of
not
embezzlement.
it is not a defense.
Hold on.
It's like you are just stating what the facts are.
I get you. This explanation, it brings up another issue of embezzlement, because if you tell me that you budgeted $100,000 to pay as appearance fee to certain persons, but then deep down in your heart you have also itemized for a different group who you made promises to, and so you're going to take from this pool and then come and pay them, that is embezzlement. That is the classic definition of
misappropriation of funds,
of public funds. And you see, for me, Winston, irrespective of, for me, the central theme in this conversation is the disingenuous nature of the Ghana Football Association, and the idea that this is actually something that should fly any proper scrutiny, that they can actually present this. Again, I always tell people this: in every expenditure, in every decision that we make, when it comes to anything public, we have to be guided by the fact that we are not sitting on a bottomless pit of cash. How do you tell me that you propose to pay $20,000 to the personal assistant of the national team coach?
So we're talking about the proposals they made.
How is that justifiable?
How is ingenious that you make these proposals?
How is and you see, Winston, after everything that has been said about appearance fees,
don't forget what actually gets done too is then called a state secret. Forget about the proposal.
And so the rest of us, nobody
actually done is called a state secret.
How do you tell me that after everything that has been said about appearance fee and how much disaffection it has created for the team itself, you in good conscience think that it is a good idea to put together this list that has 54 beneficiaries for the same appearance fee? You either simply care more about how much you are going to line your pockets than the damage that you are going to do to the team. Because look, after the Brazil 2014, everyone admitted that the love died. People had hardcore evidence of corruption, of mismanagement, and clear evidence that there were too many people who were feeding fat of the national team, to the extent that the team's continuous decline and the culture of mismanagement around the team benefited them. All of those issues about those people whose job description we did not know, the sort of service they were offering the national team, we could not tell the Jamape Commission somewhere in November 2014, still persist. And they are the very issues that have eroded public trust in the GFA. They are the very issues that have created disaffection for the team itself. And I'm saying to you, Winston, that you see the players, the reason why it is important to them that they also drive a hard bargain and get as much for their service as possible is things like this list. Is that there is a bigger contingent that is going to be paid an appearance fee per what the GFA have presented. If you made promises to Congress and said you are going to take Samuel Boedu, you are going to take Ignatius or whoever to the World Cup, find a way of settling them. You don't behave in a manner that creates disaffection for the team and even enters the realms of embezzlement and misappropriation of the public funds.
Guys, yes, Kojo, you want to make
this message quickly before we go. This one says, Kojo, I was on a flight with the Bafana team on their return to Johannesburg after they won bronze in the last African Cup of Nations. All the players were in economy with some officials in business class. We waste money in this country, and that's Kofi Boache who sent that one through.
Yes,
and
I mean, I don't understand.
Many examples.
I don't understand why we have to put. Look, to be very honest with you, today I've heard because no member of the government will fly first class. They currently fly business class, and so you can say fly economy premium. I still think it will make sense. If you're flying from here.
It won't take anything away from the team.
Away from you if you look. If I do not think that players of the senior national team, the Black Stars, deserve to fly business class, just as I think that our politicians should fly economy. All of us should fly economy. You are working for the state. If I, a private man, decide to use my own money and I say I'll fly business, that is my problem.
But Winston, how do you make that argument to the Black Stars captain when he knows that every member of the management committee, in fact the FA contingent that is going with them, is on the same classes of tickets that you say are too expensive, so you won't put them on business class or first class?
So, well, I mean,
how do you tell them to go and sit in economy?
So then obviously it shouldn't apply only to the players, you see. And listen, I mean, in truth, the thing that makes it most annoying is what is happening, what is going to happen at the end of the journey. So the same way that when a politician is flying to go and beg for money, and he flies business class or first class, it is unacceptable. It's the same way that a whole contingent of players and officials going to get beaten by Chad, or what are some of the countries that have beaten us? Comoros. And you are flying business class to go and collect defeat from Comoros and come back.
Hold on. I want to see, we're looking at the budgets. And see, when I talk about the budget, I'm just talking about the budget proposal.
Yeah.
The fact that in there, and is the mindset. So at some point, and look, we have a certain attitude. So we go with 7,000 and get maybe $4,000 or $5,000 approved. Mufta, you get the point?
Yeah. Sure.
So you have shown that we actually paid $1,000 for a training pitch.
Yeah.
We rented a training pitch.
Yes.
Okay. When we have been taking money from FIFA, and today Mali has better stadiums than Ghana does, and we get the same FIFA money, what we have been doing is to go and buy 17-year-old buses and come and give it to clubs. I mean, what sort of people are we?
No, so in fact, those buses, we didn't use FIFA money to buy.
Mm-hmm.
The FA say it is their internally generated money that they used to buy.
generated how much?
How does the FA generate money?
No, they generated how much?
Through sponsorships.
They do make a lot of money.
Even
from player transfer.
Someone last year, last 2 years, they actually made about 25 million Ghana cedis. Actually,
Okay. So
fantastic.
This is what.
And still the government buys them $7,000 tickets.
no, but the government is in charge of the national team. So when it comes to the national team, we can give that. So the thing is that the 9 buses that the FA bought, per the documents that we have, and I'm just going to give you one of the documents for you to go through yourself from the Ghana Revenue Authority. This is a document that they declared the buses. In fact, they've asked some of the clubs to bring back their buses, because they say that they do not have the documents to be able to register those buses. So this is a document from Ghana Revenue Authority Customs Division that I secured. And after that, you can go to the next document, which you will see the company that...
You want to spoil my eye? Send it to me. I'll open it. Mufta wants to. He wants to disturb. These eyes that I am maintaining.
I'm already tired.
Okay, so I'm sending you two documents. In fact, 3. I'm going to send you 3 documents.
But what are the contents?
The content is the.
You share it with me. Have you shared it with me? I'll open it here.
Okay, so let me just give that to you.
At least my skin is breaking because this thing you want to do there, you want to. But I mean,
so I've said to you the first one, and in fact, one of the things that actually shocked me was the fact that when I cross-checked from Hyundai Ghana for a brand new county bus, 2025. It is $79,200, which translates. If you take a look at that very document I've sent to you, the exchange rate used there was 15.1391 per dollar.
Yes, 15.1391.
Yes, per dollar. So if you convert that by 79,200, it will give you like 1 point something million Ghana cedis. In effect, the FA could have bought 4 buses, brand new 2025 county buses, and given them to the clubs. However, the association decided that no, we were going to rather go and buy
Rickety.
And you take a look at that document. The document says that go down, you see the chassis number of the car, and it is 2014 made. And I'll send you another chassis number that actually shows that the car is a 208 made.
So who's the FA deceiving?
I don't know. I don't know what. and it cannot. So why we cannot say whether it is the FA that changed the chassis number or who changed the chassis numbers?
Import duty.
So
That's what they're doing.
so I'll send you another document.
That's a crime.
That shows that if the FA were to pay the actual duty of the cars that are 208 made, they would have paid about 120,000
more.
Yes,
because they would have paid a penalty.
Yeah.
so
They
in
have paid
this
a penalty.
in this document, they actually paid 50,000 Ghana cedis less. So 9 buses. That's like
And was this sourced through competitive bidding?
no. It was sole sourcing. It is the company of the chief of staff of the Ghana Football Association.
Conflict of interest.
Yes.
What's his name?
Michael Osekwe. I'm just sending you his company details right now for you to have a look at that.
I'm just going to conclude by saying this.
Yes.
Again, we don't sit on a bottomless pit of cash. The FA has a lot of failed projects. You don't have a fitting national training center for your team. Every time the Black Stars come to town, they have to sleep in a Lisa hotel at the expense of the state. So when you put up a budget like this and behave as if you are the United States of America, you have everything set. You don't need to save money for any other thing. When there is a World Cup, which would have fetched a windfall, my expectation was that the FA would have gone with a significantly leaner budget proposal to the sports ministry, but also inform the sports ministry that, you know what, we're saving $2 or $3 million US. Give us the equivalent of what our friends in Senegal have built for their national teams. Give us the equivalent of what our friends in Egypt and Morocco have built for their national teams. That is what any right-thinking, progressive mind will do. They will look at the money that is coming, how best, because the World Cup doesn't come around every year. AFCON doesn't fetch you money. So the World Cup is the one tournament where you know that, as for this one, it's a low-hanging fruit. So and here's the thing, FIFA gave each participating team $1.5 million US to prepare for the competition. So if you had gone with, say, 1.5 million budget or even 500,000, but inform the sports ministry, if you tell the ministry and they say no, we will come and fight for you, because we would have seen the wisdom in the investment the FA wants to make. But no, they have to line their pockets. They have to spend 5.4 million US. This is what the FA wanted to do. Here's the thing, we spent 11 or was it 12 days in Qatar?
We did. The training was 12 days.
No, the tournament
the
itself.
We did 14 days.
For a 14-day stay in Qatar, we wanted to pay people $100,000 each.
But management committee
we
members.
Do you have a conscience?
Committee members still got that.
Do you have a conscience? Do you think at all? And you see, if these were their Ketokroku's Dreams FC or Sakre's Vision FC, is this how they manage those clubs? If those were their clubs,
The chief of staff is the owner
Vision
of
FC. If the money we are talking about here was their own money, and the clubs in question were their clubs, you think that's how they would have spent the money?
Look, guys, I need to hear from. Send in your thoughts. Okay, send in your thoughts.
So Winston, I've just sent you the documents for you to go through.
Thank you for that, Muftau. Thanks very much. Thanks to the sports team for I was going to say for enlightening us, but they have really dampened my spirits, if you ask
Folks,
me. This is terrifying. The extent of it, Winston.